What went right and what went wrong? Hey, I am Chuck the bureaucrat, and one of the interesting and, I don't know, sometimes frustrating things about working at the Pentagon is that often elements of large military culture come into the building and they intermingle with the culture of civilian professionals. And it's not uncommon for important nuances of those cultures to be lost in translation. The effect goes both ways, but today I want to focus on two military ideas: the after-action review and the less formal hot wash. On the face of it, there should be little cause for confusion. There's some big mission or task that has to get accomplished, maybe a major iteration in a process, and once it's all done, the team comes together to look back at what actually happened. But lately, I've been noticing that after-action reviews, particularly those that are conducted with very few military people involved, well, they lack, or in some cases, totally avoid the very things that military leaders strive for in after-action reviews. See, an after-action review is a technique for improving execution by comparing what was supposed to happen to what did happen. And the emphasis is on identifying practices that worked well and therefore should be sustained, and on identifying practices that didn't work as intended and therefore should be improved or eliminated. An AAR is not a debrief of what happened. It is forward-looking with an emphasis on improving future planning, preparation, and execution. Assigning blame or reprimanding subordinates is verboten in an AAR. I mean, blaming is completely contrary to the whole purpose of the AAR. You don't produce recommendations for other people in an AAR. You're focused on what you can do. The only caveat I'd have to that is that when the actions of others positively contribute to the outcome, well, that can and should be highlighted. When battalion headquarters sent Lieutenant Thompson down to brief the drivers on the new route, that cleared up a lot of confusion. The reason that this prohibition on blaming others exists is that the learning mechanism of an AAR is the participant themselves. Individual soldiers identify best practices and carry them forward. That's one of the ways that the U.S. Army is a learning organization. Now, an AAR is similar to the less formal hot wash. A hot wash is a quick and dirty review of an engagement with that same forward-looking perspective. In my experience, a Pentagon hot wash often happens immediately after an engagement with a senior leader, and to be more exact, after a chaotic engagement with a senior leader. Maybe do-outs weren't clear, maybe emotions ran high, maybe the colonel stuck his foot in his mouth. A hot wash tends to focus on whatever was rocky in the engagement. If the do-outs weren't clear, the hot wash tries to collect what everybody heard. If the meeting was unexpectedly contentious, the hot wash focuses on why. What did we say or do that pushed the wrong buttons? If the colonel stepped out of line, the hot wash serves as a quick on-the-spot correction so that we can move forward and be successful in the future. Your ability to identify and develop best practices for yourself and to set the example so that others can do the same is going to be one of the major things that contributes to your success. That's true no matter where you go. Now, I started by saying that AARs and hot washes are one of those places where sometimes civilians don't really understand the military culture. But do you have an example of where the military doesn't understand the professional civilian experience? Put your ideas in the comments section so that we can all become better at our jobs.